All right, everybody, we're back. Sorry for the mess on the table. This is just a sorting table, and I just haven't wiped stuff off today. Okay, so this is a request video. I was asked to do a heat guide for, I'm going to do various peppers that I actually grow to kind of give you a spectrum. Here's the harvest today. The DEFCON Griefers and Scotch Bonnets. I love that this, I had a couple of them, one of them is in the thing. But I love that they turn this deep orange. I love it. I think I picked this one a little bit early, but such a good pheno. And these are the Papa Dreddies. Okay, so we're gonna start on the left. We're gonna start left to right, sweet to not. So, okay, to start out, the sweet peppers, bell peppers, basically. You've got the one I'm growing this year, the Blushing Beauty Hybrid. So this one has no heat at all, and this one is actually a little bit sun damaged, so it's kind of going out. I've got to, you know, chomp on this one here in a little bit. But so these bell peppers have no heat. There are certain ones like Cajun Bell and a couple others that have a little bit of heat. Overall, bell peppers never gonna have heat. Always pick them red because that's the most flavor. If you do green, you're a weirdo. Obviously I picked, oh, let me actually swap these. Okay, so this one I picked green. This is my pumpkin spice habaneros. Not habaneros, dang. Jalapeno, I'm starting this video off strong. My pumpkin spice jalapeno, this is not ripe. Green jalapenos are never ripe. If you want maximum flavor and still to have, I mean, technically at them at their peak heat but flavor, get them red. Let them get as red as possible. It takes forever, it feels like. But these, oh, by the way, so these are like 0 to maybe 500. I'll give you 1,000 if it's a real puncher. And that's not hot at all. This one, these range, jalapenos in general range from 3 to about 8,000, I think. And that's, 8,000 is really pushing it for a jalapeno. These are like little fruits, basically. They are not hot. The pumpkin spice ones that I'm growing, they're kind of like a yellowish orange. They're delicious. Serranos. And by the way, anybody correct me if I have these a little bit out of order. I kind of had to look up stuff real quick, but again, Serranos, they also ripen red, this shade of red. They are at max flavor at red, but they're in the neighborhood of, I think, 10 to 20,000. It depends on the strain, and mine are a little small, so there's a smaller type of Serrano. I love these for flavor, usually a little bit more than the jalapenos. Next up, Spaghetti Albino, same neighborhood as this, sweeter. It's more of a cayenne heat, and I just didn't have a cayenne to grab. So, 50, I think it's upwards of 15, maybe. Okay, then, Chili de Arbol. This is the first one I've ever grown, and I love the red color on it. If it'll do its thing. It's kind of almost a coral red, but I'm really excited to try this one here in just a little bit. That one is 15 to 30,000, and I don't really have anything that's mid-heat between it and the Mayan. So please forgive me for the jump. There's a lot, like Thai peppers. Thai peppers will get up to like around 100, 120,000. I've got some Thai peppers, but they're more around like this level. So jumping to the Mayan, which is a pretty good jump. So we're going from 30,000 max to around 150,000. And habaneros stay anywhere from 100. You know what? I mean, it kind of bridges, but habaneros of any type, except for the one we'll get to, like orange habaneros, for example, the most common habanero are around 100 to 250,000 Scoville. The Mayan, I believe, maxed at 150,000. So it's just kind of dead inside that little spectrum that they've got. And this one is delicious. But like habaneros tend to not get much higher than that, except for a couple of examples, and we'll get to those. In the habanero bandwidth is our Scotch Bonnets. And again, I love that deep orange. That candy orange almost. These are around 200 to 250,000, but they have a much more fruity flavor, a little bit sweeter, but the heat isn't as intense to me. Habaneros just tend to have a hot heat. These are delicious and kind of have that creeping heat. These are much more tolerable, and they have that delicious flavor. And that's for most of these. It's 200 to 250,000. Probably the chocolates or the reds will be a little bit hotter, maybe 300,000, creeping up there. And then outlier on the habaneros, you have 500,000 for the man, I gotta stop saying the red Savinas, did it again, and the Caribbean reds. They hit in that 5 to 550 scale, which kind of brutal if you're not really eating all that much heat. They are just a little bit rough. Then we're getting into the millions. We're breaking the millions. A ghost, now a good example in between, pretty much dead in between these two, is the ghost pepper. The ghost pepper is $1 million even normally. I think it edges into 1,100 for really gnarly ones. But going up above that, we have the chocolate brain strain, which is 1,350,000. I love these. These and these taste about as hot to me, and that's weird, but I love the flavor on brain strains, except for whatever making heat is doing to them. Do not do those. And then, so again, we're in the 1.3 million to I think 1.5. So going from that, and then the Reaper will be a little bit further on, but then we go to, God, I wish, can I get that to focus? There we go. The DEFCON Griefer, which I just picked this earlier. It was part of my 4 pepper harvest. It's doing really good, and I'll probably eat this here in just a little bit. But this bad boy sits at 1.2 to 1.5, 1.6 million on the Scoville scale, and also had a decent flavor. So we're getting in there with these last 4. This one and this one, both chocolate pods. This is another Primatali and my chocolate champion. They're around the 1.6 at the low end, and then they edge upwards into probably I think the chocolate Primatalis, I think there's been one tested at 2.2, but I don't know. I do know they say it'll get to 2. I know it's just hot. But these two are the upper end of the spectrum. So we're going from nothing with the Blushing Beauty to absolute killers, which I did like that the chocolate champion. But Primatali, very much a floral bomb to me. I don't get much flavor off it. Not a giant fan. I'll probably eat more in the future, but I'm just not the biggest fan of them. But definitely from here, from the red Savina upwards, it's not a big trend to get flavor, and you'll see me in the videos talking about it. You don't get a whole ton of very sweet flavor in the millions, or like the fruity flavor that I like in peppers. You'll get much more floral, which that's just, I think, a thing with capsaicin. It just does that. Like, that's what its flavor is. This, most of these are actually very flavorful. So I do recommend these if you want flavor inside of your heat. If you just want heat, chocolate Primatali, Reaper, Ghost, Trinidad Marugas, certain strains of that, they're absolute barn burners, but for me, there's just not enough flavor to justify them. But hopefully this also helps y'all kind of get where the spectrum lies and stuff that's around it. If there's any questions, please hit me up in the comments. If I got anything wrong, if someone else knows more about the subject, please comment. I want this to be an open forum thing, and just correct if I have shinfo. Just correct me. That's fine. I'll learn. I have no shame. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a pepper scientist. I'm just a heat expert. And they hurt. So that's what we're doing. So remember, no heat, little bit of heat, mid heat, getting there, hot, very hot. Oh, sorry, very hot, hot, super hot. So yeah, just wanted to do a little bit of video. But yeah, excuse the dirty table. I'll correct myself. But see you guys. Keep it on, keep it on.